Hey everybody, Jamie Pate here. Welcome to this video. It's a new series, Workspace Wednesday. And today I am going to attempt, air quotes, to answer some of your questions. Let's get started. Okay, what we're going to do today is I'm grabbing some questions from a recent question I asked on my Facebook page. And there's a whole lot of comments. I'm going to get through a couple of these today. The first question out there is from my friend Kate, and she says, I need to organize my desk. What I want as an easy grab, everything of course, but what is necessary? Now you can see here in view is my IKEA cart, and then a bit of storage type stuff on it. Actually, it's more my tools. This is my tool catch. So, Kate, for the most part, you got to kind of figure out what it is that you want to easily reach for. What are those necessary things? I have figured out a lot of my necessary things, and it includes hole punch, mini stapler, several rulers, all my scissors. Yes, we need more than one kind of scissors. My hot glue gun, water bottles, alcohol spray bottles, punches that I figured out. I'm using these all the time. I'm tired of grabbing them from my drawer. I need them right where I can reach them. More scissors. I don't know how many bone folders or scoring tools I have. 200, I think. All kinds of craft glue, sandpaper, mint tape, pens, pencils, pick tools. Okay, so these are all sitting in the top of my cart because I don't have drawers at my craft table. But this cart comes in handy and I can move it out of the way if I want to. And on top of it is the heat tools and accessories organizer from ScrapbookCom. Fits inside this cart perfectly, but it could fit on your surface as well. It could be on your workspace if that is what you prefer too. You could have two of them, have them back to back, and you could fill them perfectly with what you need. You got to kind of figure out for yourself, what is it that you actually need? I have a lot of things around my desk. I've created a bit of an L. You can see I have papers, I have die cut, I have stamps, I have inks on my table that I've decided these are the ones I want all the time. I created a ink. I can show this to you in a little bit. I created an ink pad holder with just my fall inks that I know I'm going to be using. And above is other more accessory type things and papers and scrap papers and embellishments that I'm going to use. It's just things I've kind of figured out that I need. This is what I use most readily to just grab as I go. And that's my answer for you, Kate. Okay, the next question I have that we're going to take care of today is from Daisy Lane Paper Crafts. Daisy Lane Paper Crafts says, I could use a bigger space. Couldn't we all? I think that's actually the question. And then she's LOL. Yes, that is the thing. But let me talk about this for a little bit as you look a little bit at my studio. And that is, I don't have a very large space. I compared to some people and some studios I've seen out there, it's about 10 by 10, maybe 10 by 11. It is very concise, and it's taken me time to figure out what do I need and where do I need to put it. By virtue of the work that I do, I have a lot of product that is constantly coming in here. So I have to know what to do with it. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to kind of figure it out and go, okay, I've got this worked out. Also can include decluttering the things that I don't need. So when you saw my studio tour, it's kind of utilitarian. It's not super fancy. Maybe someday it will be. Just right now it's not. That being said, it has taken time for me to figure out, just like my tool cart, it's taken me a little bit to figure out, what do I actually need to have in here? Is it work for me? And then to be willing as well to figure out when it doesn't work for you and to change that up. Next question today comes from my friend Deborah. 2 things, she says. I like too much stuff. That alone made me laugh, because we do, and I know we apologize for it. There are some amazing products in this industry, right? I know you all agree. There's always brand new collections coming out. and there are the latest tools, and sometimes we just become collectors of the tools. Sometimes we become collectors of the collections when we should be using them. Utilize these things. If you're not doing for yourself, then make for somebody else. Okay, so that was number one. Number two. Second thing is the remaining parts and pieces left over from a prior project. That's the most excellent question. And so I have the same deal. I will make a thing. This first little envelope here is a great example of that. Now, while you still see pictures in here, this project is mostly done. I just happen to have more photos and stuff that I could add to it, which, in my head, I really want to do that. But you can see that I have cutoffs, and I actually threw some other pieces in here as well. So here's the thing. This was like my little mock-up of it when I was trying it first, so that I left in here too. So I do this a lot. I will have pieces left over. Don't necessarily want to get rid of them, because this could be its own other project, right? I love the ScrapbookCom storage envelopes just for this very reason. This one here just so happens to be not cooperating. Here we go. 10 by 7. So it's 10 this way. I'm sorry. It's 10 this way. It's 7 this way. Did I say 10 by 7? I meant to. And it's just a great size for this very thing. On that same note, I did want to brag about this brand new crafty pouch. These are new in the last month or so at ScrapbookCom. This is the large one, and it is pretty large. It's 13 wide. I mean, you can see you can't fit the whole 12-inch piece of paper in here, but I can fit that portion in there. Now, this is a project I'm presently working on, and this includes some cutoff papers. This includes a page. I already know what photos are going to go with it. This includes some of the accessories that are going to go with it, and actually the whole book is in here. So this is another thing I would suggest as well, these crafty pouches. They hold a ton of stuff. And so I think this is a great idea for whether you're in the midst of a project or you got leftover pieces, but you still want to kind of keep them all together because you're not quite ready to let go of them. Totally get that. This is my suggestion. The next comment I had in that thread was from my friend Kimberly, and she was actually just sharing. And I love that when you guys post photos and you share something that's working for you. And I ask questions fairly often on my Facebook page. That's where these are coming from. So you can follow that. I have it linked below. And please come join the community, join the conversation, share your stuff. But she mentioned that she has a vacation set up that she can just take several of her things, grab and go when she's on the road. I love that. Which made me think about someone also commented after the studio tour about, of course, have on your desk the stamps that you are using most often. So this is the Distress Stamp Pad Storage by Tim Holtz, and these are my go-tos. I pulled one out of here already because I have it somewhere else, which I'll show you in a moment. And this just fits perfectly on my tabletop super easily, and it stacks. So I have the second one here that just stacks right on top. And the second one, I do not have the holder insert. I think I pulled it out at one point because I was just storing tidbits and tags and backgrounds in here, and then I decided to change that, which so happens so often in here. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to change it up. Don't be afraid to change stuff up. So what I did, I'm like, well, I am super into fall makes right now, and I am loving these colors. Don't you love this color as a fall color? Yes, you do. I'm super loving these colors right now. Plus, I have been collecting the Distress Oxide Reinkers for making these DIY pads. Isn't that cool? So cool. And so now I have this on my table also, and I'm not going through everything and pulling all my fall stuff together. So that just kind of answers any question someone might have. Again, twofold. How are you storing your your ink pads, rather, I want to say. And the second question about what do you have right at your desk so you can just make your desk work for you better. So that's my answer. Okay. My friend Robin has a great question. I'm going to attempt to answer it, although my solution, well, It's not exactly what she's asking, but it kind of is, but mine's not complete. Boy, so many caveats, Jamie. Just share the thing. Okay, her comment was, I'm still struggling with 49 and Market embellishments / die cuts, but I just bought a bunch of 4x6 photo holders. I think I'm going to try. And that's a great idea. So it made me think, so a lot of times when you have so many of a die cut of ephemera in a collection, it can be kind of hard to see all that's in there. So using an album and page protectors, fantastic idea. What I have already set up here is actually for my 49 and Market. Well, I don't have just 49 Market, but the 49 Market primarily is what I have. And this might actually be a demonstration in excessiveness, so please forgive me now. But I have been using this ScrapbookCom album with the 6x8 open page protectors to hold my rub-ons. And I am here for it. I love this so much. Now I have everything from if I'm thinking correctly, like here's a sheet, here's a sheet, here's a sheet, here's a sheet. But then I have like a whole entire set, which I think is going to work okay like this, and it won't take as much of page protectors to make it work. I can still see what's in here. 49 and Market is great for creating collections that very often can kind of work back into another collection. So, these are essentials. It's an essential line, so it's not necessarily a papered collection. And so this is going to work with Nature Study, or this will work with maybe Plum Grove. That is still out and available. The Viking Rub-On, which is no longer available, some of these colors are still going to work with Nature Study. You understand what I'm saying? So since I've been doing this, and I still need to work on it, I still have a whole pile here that I have not put into a home yet. And it's just because I'm busy. It's just because I haven't stopped to take time to do this. But I super love this idea, and I had to share it with you. Okay, my friend Jillian has a question that's similar to what we've already talked about here, but it might actually ask it slightly different. So I'm going to read it anyway. So I have lots of projects on the go and will choose which one to work on based on how I feel at the time. Each project has its own supplies. How do I store projects so they're easy to reach for and set up and get on with, but out of the way while I'm working on something else? I totally relate to that emotion. I don't know if you've heard me talk about one of my favorite artistic authors, Austin Kleon. Austin Kleon talks about how have more than one thing that you're working on. Because I will tell you right now, I'm making this video and I'm actually making another video as well. But I had to pause on that one because something needs to be worked on. So now I'm working on this one. I have this project right here. I already showed you this one in the large crafty pouch. I really want to get this one done. You guys want me to get it done because you want to see a walkthrough of it. So it gets to be stored in here, and I can grab this and pull everything out, and I can put everything back inside. Now this is the small crafty pouch. This would be great for tools. So this might not, or again, back to ephemera. You want to throw all your ephemera in here, mix and match it all. You can just put it in here, throw it on the table and put it back, and it's ready to go as well, which I probably might even do with the ephemera from the Sunburst collection now that I'm thinking of that. So I hope that answers your question. I don't even know what I answered her originally. Yeah, I'm looking again. I did show her these crafty pouches. So I'm a fan, guys. What can I say? Okay, we're going to take one more question. Okay, one final question today, and then I think we'll revisit this because there's a couple more questions on there, and you can let me know in the comments, please. Do you like this format? Do you like talking about this kind of crafty stuff? Is the Workspace Wednesday video series, is that helpful to you? Because I want to be helpful to you, and so I know these things work for me, and so I'm guessing they bring value to you as well. So my friend T asked, what do you do when you're a junk journaler and tend to keep all kinds of paper ephemera, just in case, of course, but don't really have a place for it? I am going to actually answer this with two answers. The first one is what I told her, is I have just recently had this pile of, this isn't necessarily ephemera, but it is paper ephemera. We could call this, us junk journalers could call this paper ephemera, because it's things that we've made that we know we want to have in a junk journal at some point. So what I did with mine is I used my cinch machine and I punched it all because I thought, if nothing else, it's just going to become its own junk journal. And I'm fine with that because I have colorways on here. This is with a mica stain. This is with a jelly plate, and this is with jelly plate and stamping. And this is just a camera stamp that I adore with an inked background. This is a cutoff from when I did another project. So I just decided, because this is literally laying around, and I'm like, I'm tired of it laying around, but I don't want to throw it away. This was a really fun inked background that I did. You can see the mica stain on that too. And then I did some stamping on it. And so these are going to fit into something else. I haven't got all the way through. I started it and I didn't get it finished. Boy, story of my life right there. Who's with me? Raise your hand. Okay, so what I will do is I will finish punching all this. I made a cover, and it's out of chipboard, and I covered it with some of my favorite paper. This is some Vicky Bouton paper, and same with the back. I love those hearts, and so I love all those words. And so I'm just going to make a journal from that. Okay, and here's my second answer to that. These are also Tim Holtz storage tins, and I think these hold the embossing powders. In this one in particular, I have die cuts from last fall because they're all leaves, and I remember doing these videos, and so I just couldn't depart with them. But you know, they're fairly seasonal, so nor did I want them out. So that is that's an ephemera. That's your own DIY ephemera. And then in here are just a ton of backgrounds or samples or swatches rather. I had been swatching some oxide colors on these distress tags, and here's some larger ones. Just love that stamp. See, I just get like squirrel when I get into these situations. So I don't know if this is exactly the kind of ephemera in which she's referring to, but this is definitely an idea of, I don't know where this stuff is going to go. I don't want to toss it. There's a lot of inspiration in here. I know maybe sometime I'm going to use it. I don't want to remake it. So, beautiful baskets. I'm always talking about baskets. Look how, okay. Can we have a moment of silence? This is textured stock, Basil textured stock. This is a Pops of Color leaf. I am swooning. Okay, chipboard tag. You can see when Is it Villainous Poison? I don't think I said that right. It was a Distress Oxide. It's the purple one. Okay, so a lot of last year's makes in here. Oh, isn't this pretty too? That's so pretty. That's really pretty. Tags already made, but okay, I hope that answers your question. Baskets, grab a basket from Walmart. They got cute white, gray, black baskets. Go to a thrift store, find cute containers there. Go to a vintage store, grab a Tim Holtz tin. They stack just like the stamping ones. Whew, okay, that was answering a lot of things today. I super hope this is helpful. Links will be below. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see part 2, and I will see you in the next video.